Hello, everyone. I hope that you're doing great today. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. Welcome to the weekly collective reading. Happy Easter to those that celebrate. Happy Sunday to everybody else. Every week we take a look at basically all of the milestones in the week ahead, helping us navigate twists, turns, and opportunities. And I know you all like to see Apollo. He's resting, a little bit more awake than he was last weekend. Just got back from our walk. So anyway, welcome everybody. I'd like to start off with channeled messages. What came through today in meditation primarily was just this activation in the throat chakra. And it's kind of like I watched someone at a producer at a mixer board changing all of the volume frequencies. And I feel like this week there's going to be opportunities to speak up. For some of you, there may be a tendency to just keep the peace or blend in. I had the daily card read kind of connected to the power of not underestimating yourself. I think it was the moon. I was using the little Prince deck. I might still have it with me. I do. So this was the card that was pulled yesterday for today. And so I love how he's reaching for that reflective power. He's reaching for beyond the moon and the stars. And I think that as we're looking at this week ahead, if there's something that you need or you want, just putting it out there in the universe is really powerful. A lot of times we hope, assume, or just wish people could intuit what we're thinking. But even with fellow intuitives that I have in my own circle of friends, we communicate. It's a lot of work to to sort of have to tune into each other all the time. You can see and sense and feel what's going on, but we have the ability to communicate for a reason. So this week, definitely lean into the power of speaking it into existence. I want this. I don't want this. Stop, start, whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be a lot of words. Just that power of basically communication and clarity can really be powerful. So that's the first message today. The other thing that I keep seeing is kind of someone behind a wheel turning it to the right or to the left. I feel like it's more of a pivot than a 180. And so a little bit of course correction might be underway this week. And that's why the communication piece is so essential. So communicate, change course as you need to. Maybe there's a little bit of permission to change your mind. As we learn, as we grow, as we expand, of course, we're going to course correct. So there you go. Those are the two main things that came through today. You chose as a special topic, whatever needs to come through, which is one of my favorite, what you need to know. And we use the energy of the crow. So I'll be using a couple of decks that have crows. Someone was complaining about them. I'm like, listen, they're all birds. So whether it's a hummingbird, a dove, a crow, they're all messengers. So let's not actually, crows are amazing. We'll give them appreciation here because they're intelligent. They oftentimes befriend humans. They give you gifts if you're nice to them. So don't judge them just because they look scary or because they clean things up. They're like janitorial. We need that in the bird world as well and in the world in general. So giving some love to the crows today. I was looking at the other topics. I'm kind of surprised that this won over the Phoenix. Thematically, I would have probably done the Phoenix, but if it needs to come through, it'll come through, and that's the best thing with this one. We're going to let it go and let spirit come through. All right, so that's the power of you voting every weekend. You choose. All right, so we're going to look at a 7-day forecast here, basically walking us through the week ahead. And let's see, I may save the crow deck for the main. Well, no, I'll do it for this one. I like it, but I don't. For the main read, I want to use a different one. So let me turn the camera down. And I'll be gifting some memberships today as well. I have some to give, so stick around. Maybe right before the special topic, I'll do that. All right. So here we go. Since you chose the crows, here we are. Please close your eyes. Let go of any preconceived thoughts or notions that you might have brought into today's reading. Let's just trust in the process. We'll welcome in spirit guides, angels, ascended masters. Create a circle around you and know that you are safe, protected, and grounded. Okay, let's break it down. We're going to start off with the energy for this Sunday. We have the Three of Swords coming through, but it's reversed, so some healing is underway for those of you that are tuning in. And in the upright position, you're often in the throes of something uncomfortable. And this can be disappointment, it can be heartbreak, it can also just be this feeling of dissatisfaction. Generally speaking, when it's reversed, you're starting to let it go, and you're starting to get on the rebound or on the other side. This is also an encouragement to take care of your mind, body, and spirit, particularly your heart health. And this can be anything that makes your heart feel better. There's an emotional component here. So yes, healing any of the wounds of the past, but also there's a physical component because the heart is a muscle and it keeps us going. It's the one thing we really need to make sure is ticking. So gentle aerobic exercise, just walking the dog or swimming, or for those of you that have less mobility, like seat-based yoga or exercise, something to just get the heart pumping a little bit. And it's also just a check-in. Are you happy? What makes you happy? What can you be focusing your time and energy on today to basically bring more of that into your life? All right, let's take a look at the beginning of the week. Love it. We have the Strength card kicking off the week, and any of that work that you do today to recalibrate or to heal is amazingly well received. What I like about the Strength card is if you have any challenge in front of you, and I actually appreciate that we see a little bird on top of the lion here. It's not about it's not about the physical size. It's not about how loud your voice is, how popular you are, how rich you are, how much education you have. It's basically saying sometimes what needs to happen happens, and if you just put yourself out there, you can overcome any obstacle. Because especially if it's another person, you never know what insecurities they may have. You're able to deal with what's in front of you, okay? I'll get the traditional card in a second, but one thing that I like with this is it's almost like they're going straight to the source, eye to eye, and sometimes when you call someone out, they're surprised or, they just didn't expect you to do that. So speak up. Oh, wow, synchronistic. It's actually right here. It's the first card on the bottom of the deck. So here's your traditional one. Here's the one that we see here. And what I like about this is in both of the decks, you can see that you might be getting someone to, you could also get someone to speak up or to reveal something. So the power of communication this week is so important. Now, traditionally speaking, there are diminishing returns with the Strength card. That's my personal opinion as I look at it, because I wouldn't want to constantly be doing that. So pick and choose your battles and know that if you pick wisely, you have a good chance of getting what you need. But then look at the long term and think, how did I get here? How often do I want to have this thing happen? You don't want to be stuck in like a Groundhog Day where every day you wake up and you have to have the same conversation with someone. That's what I mean by diminishing returns. It gets exhausting. You can do it, but do you want to do it? So anyway, you can resolve an issue. Focus on, again, physical health more than anything here, and there might be an amazing Leo coming into your life. Overall, though, you might just be feeling emboldened. I got this. I can do this. And since we're just looking at one day, go for it. Whatever you need to push your energy into, it's looking really good on Monday. Okay? Now we're starting to see, I love this sort of like healing, sense of confidence coming through. And now maybe I'll get out there and hang out with some friends. We have the Three of Cups, 3 little crows taking a sip out of the cups. So this is a great day to hang out with friends, with family members. It's great for a meeting or a first date. Also just for any activity where you feel like you're part of a group. You're definitely kind of feeling more connected this day. One thing with Three of Cups is it's a courtship card too. So if you're starting something new, befriending someone that you haven't met before, just have fun in the getting to know you phase. If it's something like you're dating someone, don't push too much too fast. Yeah, you want to find out if you're both interested in the core things that matter most, but after that, just take your time. This is also a day to explore options. So if you're kind of stuck in a rut, try some new things. I like to look at the Three of Cups like a buffet table where you can pick and choose, maybe take a little taste of everything and then go back and pick the main thing that you want to eat. Like hors d'oeuvres or sampling, you got to see what the universe has to offer and opportunities. And ultimately, it's a day to mix and mingle. More is going to come from your ability to connect with others. Okay? Let's look at the midweek. We have a Ten of Pentacles card coming through in the reverse position. So there may be some pressure at work, some family or peer pressure, but the Ten of Pentacles ultimately is showing that you, kind of like the Strength card at the beginning of the week, you have absolutely what it takes. You do not need to carry the burden on of everybody around you. The burden card is usually Ten of Wands, but it can also be like, I have to meet up to everyone's expectations. I'll get the traditional Ten of Pentacles here just for comparison. In that card, we would see like older person, which can represent family. We see people of the same age, peers. We see children. We see loyalty issues. So you're just dealing with a lot of things around you. I would say, know that you are surrounded by love and opportunities. You do not need to please everybody in this card, or it becomes overwhelming. So you've got to be happy at the end of the day. If these people love you unconditionally, they will be happy for you. If they don't, they are vicariously living and trying to fix their lives through you. So know when and where to have your boundaries. We love everyone and everything that we see in this card, but it's sometimes a little much. So I think boundaries are the most important thing here. And then plug into the connection. If you're trying to do everything on your own, by the way, this is showing you've got richer resources than you might imagine. There are people, there might be, just things that you're not tapping into. It's not just people. It could also be for some of you financial resources or organizations or other things that you could kind of like tap into and ask for help if you desire to do so. Great day to talk about money. Great day to try to get a business deal finalized. It's a powerful day overall. All right, let's move on to Thursday. All right, so we have the Nine of Cups, which is a dream fulfillment card. It is in the reverse position. So some of you could be feeling extreme highs, extreme lows, extreme. So this is basically saying take a deep breath, take a step back, enjoy the little things, and if you get harsh criticism or if you have like the best day ever, take it in stride and try to get back into the center. Do enjoy the highs when they come, but also know that part of the fun was getting up to that point. You can also kind of easily enjoy the gliding afterwards. We can't live forever in those punctuated positions. Avoid extremes by all means on Thursday. So this is a day where you don't want to overexert yourself. If you're at a social gathering, don't overdo it. When it comes to, if you drink or if you're partying or whatever, just everything in moderation. And that's going to be wise no matter what. But you could be feeling heightened emotions towards Thursday. So be gentle with yourself. Two cards stuck together on Friday, and let's take a look at them. They're both reversed. So the first one I'm actually happy is reversed. So we have the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords, of course, can be the inner saboteur coming through and telling you you're not good enough, you can't do this. It can be someone in your life that likes to get under your skin and just be argumentative. They almost feed off of your reaction. You do not need to give them like any sort of feedback on that. Just save your breath. That's one thing that I get with that. There's also the sort of ability, as we talk about so frequently on this channel, to take a fear that you might have and just say, why not? How can I do this? Instead of I can't do it, how can I? And that curiosity can often yield insight. And you can even ask a trusted mentor, hey, I'm facing a challenge or problem. How have you fixed this in the past? What do you think? So we want to get over this because the shadow energy that is the main character in the Five of Swords enjoys the conflict, enjoys seeing you kind of stand still. So the best way to get even is to move on and to flourish and to avoid entangling with someone that doesn't listen. Okay, so we have a very favorable card that follows this. We have Nine of Pentacles, and this represents bounty, independence, sustainable growth. Usually there's a little snail on this card, so the slow path is often the best path. And take this one step at a time. I love the butterfly on this particular illustration because it's showing that, change takes a while to actually show up. If you change your diet or exercise routine, it could take 3 or 4 months before other people are noticing, but you've been feeling it, just like the butterfly kind of changes within. So It could be a change of decision, a change in your body, a change in your energy. It takes time. Friday, there's this impatience. Why isn't it here? This card is coming through. And it's a combination of the two, because this one is saying, you're not good enough, it's not happening. This card is saying, hello, it takes time for growth. Don't get in your headspace. And if there's someone around you that is criticizing you, first of all, nobody gets to judge you but you. Even at the end of your life, that's what life review is. Your soul sits with some guides and with whatever you consider the creative power to be, but you're the one that grades yourself. You grade you. So if somebody else is trying to do that, they're actually not paying attention to their own life. Unless it's their specific function, like they're a parent or a boss, but even then, like at a certain point, it's like, why are you so focused on me? Didn't Mariah have a song, Why Are You So Obsessed With Me? So it's kind of like that. If someone is that fixated on you, there could be jealousy. They could be a saboteur. They could just be obsessed. And there could be so much more that they could do with their life. So you focus on you, encourage them to do the same, play some Mariah Carey and move on. All right, let's look at next weekend. As we go to next Saturday, a little bit of rest, a little bit of recalibration. So traditionally, we would see a sepulcher, which basically does show a body at rest. You could be putting something to rest, like I'm done with this person, I'm done with this job, I'm done with this idea. It can also be this sense of peace. So if you've had a contentious period, and we did have Three of Swords kicking off, the energy for today, it feels like, almost 6 days from today, you are finally in a peaceful, resting, clear position here. And from that clarity comes that hidden ace beneath the sepulcher. So then you have this ability again to fixate or focus on something brand new. Don't get to the point of sheer exhaustion. This bird looks like it's conked out. It was like, we've all been there. We've crashed and burned. Let's don't wait to the point of that exhaustion. Let's make sure that you're giving yourself some time and TLC this week, basically. But definitely on Saturday, that's something to focus on. Finally, for next Sunday, we have the Hierophant coming forth. And it's a highly structured, highly organizational card. So if you are lacking organization in your life, this is a time to get everything in order. It could be financial. It could be literally clutter in your life. You're getting it all organized to suit your needs and your specific desires as well. If you want to do something where this is a really good card to lead up to a launch, because we see the Hierophant here and then the two disciples here. It's a card where if you need to get people to follow, you're in a great leadership position. So in business, in life, in general, people are looking to you. They're like, you have that magic key. You have the ability to make this happen. So this is a great day to step into a leadership role. People are seeking out someone that knows how to fix it. And keep it short, like 3 to 5 steps. Yeah, we got to do this, this, and this. And I want you to champion this effort. So that kind of clarity, it's nice when you're working sometimes to have just a bulleted, very short amount of tasks. And it's like, I need this by 3 p.m. What do you need? Like, that's good leadership. What can I take off your plate? I had a boss that used to do that, which was great. Very few ever do that. I know this is urgent and it's coming in. Who can I pull from one of my other teams to help you? I can take this off your plate. Do you have enough for this? So that's the kind of Hierophant leadership. Structured, clear. So whether you're a teacher, a parent, a partner, a boss, or you're just doing it for your own life, you can do that for yourself. Think, I got to do this. I'm going to call this person for that. You can be a boss of one. That's really what I'm getting with this, is the powerful energy of the Hierophant, the leadership energy, and the structured energy, because it is in the upright position. So, and you might be able to get something done, that skeleton key. Usually there's 2 keys on this. So there's another way to do this. Make sure that you're exploring all options. That's one thing that I would say with that. What a cool deck. I'm glad we got to use the crows. See, some great stuff came through. All right. Looking at this, let's talk about challenges and highlights. So I think the most challenging day is today for some of you. I think that there are also, like, the first couple days are great. Then we have a little bit of friction here. So the main friction has to do with, in the midpoint of the week, not going to extremes, not succumbing to pressure, and really encouraging other people to mind their business when they need to. And then everything turns around on the weekend. And I think so the highest point is probably a week from today, Monday and Sunday. So those are the ones that look great next Sunday, to be specific. Okay, perfect. So let's move on to the next portion of this reading. We're going to break it down and look at the elements. I may just stick with the same deck because it seems to be resonating for this. No, maybe I'll do something else. Hold on a second. Little Prince was nearby, so we're going to do that one. Okay. This is the only portion that is specific to groups of signs. Okay, everything else is for everybody else that came through. All right, here we go. Fire, earth, air, actually has 2, and water. Let's talk. Starting with the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We have the Lovers coming through. The Lovers is in the reverse position. So when I look at the beautiful rose on this, roses have thorns. Relationships, give and take. There are good days, there are bad days. Nobody's perfect. So one thing that we're looking at here is you're focusing on the core people in your life is to kind of like take the good and the bad and look at the general sort of whole that is that person. Not to fixate only on rose-colored glasses and only look at the good stuff. Not to fixate critically on their flaws, but to see how it all balances out and see if that's good enough for you. But also remember what we said about casting judgment. There's only so much we can do. If it irritates you, if the prickles are too much, then you can focus on something else. Now, for those that, if you want to take a broader view of the Lovers, it's a magnet. So when you're in the frequency of love, when you're feeling the sense of love and connectedness and acceptance, you attract people and opportunities that are compatible. So really focus on feeling like you accept and love yourself, you like what you're doing, you're feeling like it's worth it, it's worthwhile. When you're in the heart space, that's when you're your most powerful. So this week, really making sure that you feel that. And then relationships play a central role. There could be some healing to be done, especially since we had this coming through for today, Sunday. And then this is a power card. This is basically, for some of you, reclamation of power. You fighting for what you need and what you want. And we're in a period of time where we need the strength card. We need to stand up to people that may be, overstepping. So if someone is just not listening or doing something wrong, that's why we like the strength card. She can win even against someone that is, seeming to get all the attention and all the light. So you've got what it takes. Love wins in the end. So if you can move forward with a sense of compassion, kindness, but also you can be assertive and loving. They are not exclusive, mutually exclusive. So finding a way to find the balance this week is key. But with the Lovers, fire signs, you got a good week ahead. Love yourself, first and foremost. Okay, moving on from fire to earth. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, very good week ahead. Ace of Cups. This is a great time to initiate something new, especially if it's a passion project, something that you really care about. This is a time where you may find it easier to just talk to people or have them understand what you're doing. Again, tapping into the heart is a common theme this week, right? And I love the butterflies here as well. Speaking of love being the most powerful, love can change people. Apollo's out of frame right now, but he's a rescue. So when I first got him, super, super shy. He's been with me. He's a Taurus, by the way. People ask what his sign is. I adopted him in 2017. And so he's somewhere between 8 to 10 years old. But when I first got him, so shy that he wouldn't even, he had a hard, he knew that he liked me, but he was shy. He was afraid that he was going to be hurt. So consistent love and safety over time has helped him come out of his shell. He was attacked in December by another dog. Now he has some separation anxiety, so now we're working on that. But love and kindness and patience is the key. With children, the same thing happens often, where if they haven't had a lot of support, if they've been teased, you have to give them that sort of love so that they can come out of their shell, so they can spread their wings. Same thing is true in all relationships. So this week you have the potential to begin that process. But remember, change takes time. So it's not going to happen immediately. It could take days, weeks, months, or years, but it's worth it. It is a very, very powerful elixir. Love is. And this is a great time if you're looking for love or you want to go deeper into a relationship. Of course, the Ace of Cups is welcoming that. This is basically one of the best aces you can get, because when the cup is overflowing, you have more than enough for you and for others. So make sure your cup is overflowing. Make sure that you're loving and supporting yourself. You're doing things that you enjoy. A lot of the same messages that came through for the previous 3 signs is coming through for Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Have some fun though. It's upright. So, you're connecting with that 3 of Cups energy that we saw. I think it was Tuesday. So I feel like if you get out there, you have a great chance of meeting some new people, creating some new connections, making some sparks fly. Okay, let's go to the air signs. You got 2. The first one is the King of Pentacles. That's pretty awesome. If there's anything that you need to create or initiate or make happen this week, King of Pentacles has a green thumb. It's going to happen. It's going to happen a little faster than you thought. If you felt like you were languishing and things weren't happening before, just start it fresh, either this afternoon or on Monday, and just see if things don't shift around a little bit. Let's see what's beneath the card. So we have the 6 of Pentacles, which is a card of choices and balance. And basically, I love this illustration, but it does not tell the story. So we're going to go to the traditional one for this, except that he seems a little bit like impatient in that. So a series of really intelligent choices can bring you more than what you need. Ultimately, this is where the scales are tipping in your favor. So you may feel like, I don't know if I can make this happen. You can, however, you need to make some decisions, prune some things here, focus on this, like make some tough decisions. You can't say yes to everybody. And that's actually what this card illustrates. Everyone has open hands. He's got the scales, limited amount of coins. I'll give a few to you, and I need to make sure that I have enough too. Everybody gets their share, but you don't deplete yourself. So this is where this week in particular, you may have to say no to some extracurricular invitations. You may have to clamp down a little bit on your spending, make sure that you're getting enough sleep. Everything has to sort of be, that Hierophant energy, it's for you. It's getting highly structured. And by the end of the week, things will feel solid. Definitely look at schedule, look at your budget, look at who you're spending your time and energy with. Choices can open you up to abundance. And that's actually that's why we have the King here as the leading card. But he needs to stay balanced here. And sometimes we get bored or we get lost or we get despondent. And so this is kind of the wake-up call to pull that all together. But the King of Pentacles as the presenting energy, again, showing a favorable week for business and for also for those of you that are looking to do a home improvement or looking at your environment. King and Queen of Pentacles definitely rule the home. And so make sure that you're comfortable, make sure your space is cleaned and that the energy can flow around you. Okay? Let's go to the water signs. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. We have the Knight of Swords. Things are moving along at a rapid pace. We have the little fox in the foreground. Often the fox is connected with 7 of Swords energy. So make sure that you're not moving so quickly or that you get distracted that you don't notice something that needs your attention. The fox is right there, highly visible. A lot of times you can see trouble before it comes. So slow down long enough to check in, check your P's and Q's, look at all the fine print, make sure that you're paying attention to the surroundings, but otherwise you're going to be fine. And anything that might present an issue, as long as you take a moment to gather your thoughts, again, look at the progress and make sure that everything's being done, I feel like you can catch that. This is also just nimble and wise and fast. So this week, it just feels like keeping the pace is important. So get enough sleep, eat adequately, and take care of your mind, body, and spirit. In the area of communication, things can travel quickly. So again, if you've previously had some delays where people weren't answering a question or you weren't seeing the progress that you needed on something, it feels like things shift around this week. And reaching out any day, starting today, you might see faster progress than you have in previous weeks. So it's a great time to follow up. All right, let's get ready for the special topic. That went pretty quickly. So again, we're going to be looking at the crow, whatever you need to know. Again, knowing also that crows lean into intelligence, cleaning up stuff, and communicating, messenger sort of energy. I would like to quickly gift a couple memberships, so let me do that. I think I have about 5 left in this month, and we're almost finished. So there you go. Welcome to, or welcome back to, all the lucky people that just got a new membership. Okay, so let me go ahead and clear all of this up. By the way, while I'm doing this, a reminder, it's free and it helps. Like and subscribe if you enjoy what you see here. If you feel like you'd like to gift something to someone else, you can go ahead and do so. I've started to do more member-specific videos because I wanted to give back to those that support me the most. So we'll probably be doing that on a monthly basis now. And I may change the topic or what I do from time to time, but thanks to those that have been able to participate. Okay, let's see. All right, if you haven't done so already, take a moment just to tune in, close your eyes, let go of any distractions, again, reconnect with the guides that we called in earlier, and set the intention that you are safe and ready to receive. I was just looking at those that were gifted. Welcome back. I think almost everybody used to be a member, so welcome back to all of you. Since we're looking at crows, I will go back to this and pull our catalyst from a crow deck as well. We like abundance. Oops. All right. Take a quick drink. While I'm doing that, you can look at Apollo, who is back behind us, just off camera a little bit. Yeah, buddy, I'm talking about you. All right. We're going to begin first with your catalyst card. As I mentioned, the message of abundance comes through. So this is a period during which, for those of you, particularly some of the air signs, since we saw the Six of Pentacles, this further accentuates that message where if you take time to make smart choices, more can come in. But this is true of everyone, independent of sign, because like I said, this particular portion is for all those who are present. One thing to think about with this is the power of belief. When you start to simply put into the ethers that I am abundant, I am in the flow of this sort of energy, then you actually start to bring it in. When you think it's not happening, I'll never make this happen, I can't, I'm not good enough, I'm not this enough, then you start to close down the energy of abundance. So one of the biggest things that you can focus on is simply opening up to the idea, and not just the idea, I would say, but the truth and the reality that you are a powerful manifester, that you want to really tune into what you're thinking with respect to, what's possible, and avoid going into anything where you're limiting what's possible. So, just allow yourself to see what the universe has to present to you. Sometimes we feel like, this will never happen, etc. Just show up, like we were talking about earlier with the Little Prince reaching for the moon. Reach for that highest goal and see where you might experience some hiccups along the way. We'll look at those here today. I'm not seeing too many, so that's good, except maybe in the environment. So what I see here as I look at the general spread is themes of reclamation of power at the center, expansion on the horizon, success, manifestation. The biggest challenge comes in the deep past from limiting ideas and thoughts, and in a delay that might be frustrating. However, we have within possibilities the star. So 6 of Wands, success, magician, manifestation, star, nicely coupling with the word world, rather showing that you're stepping into the spotlight. Most of the cards are good. There are some things. Burnout, a lack of sort of like support in the past, and then a delay. These are towards the bottom. They are lower frequency. They do not need to hold you back from everything else that we see here. So it all depends on the placement of cards. If we got the devil at the center, I'd say you've got some work this week. It's in the past. Let's keep it in the past. One of the ways you can keep it in the past is through accountability. The devil doesn't like those who are accountable. We also have a devil-like tendency with the Empress in reverse, which is to overreach, trying to micromanage or control everything. So a little bit of tough love. The crow, whenever we tap into that as a totem, it will give you what you need. So one bit of tough love is don't try to fix everyone. Don't try to do everything. Doing so will probably lead to this sense of exhaustion. You could burn yourself out. You could get into an argument. Do what you need to. Plant a seed of an idea, an intention, or whatever. Put it there. If they're not receptive to it, move along. Move on to someone that is. Focus on energy that's better worth it. Take care of yourself. An Empress reversed is a universal mother, and there's so much to love about this illustration. People may just generally love being around you, and they also know that you'll do almost anything sometimes. So what you want to do is have healthy boundaries, but one of the things that's vital is make sure that you are feeling healthy, supported, safe, everything a mother would do, right? Ideally. So nurture yourself today in particular, and this week as well. So that can also be spending time with someone that you love, going to the doctor, getting a massage, taking a walk, not fully booking your schedule, leaving some time to meditate, to be present. Take care of yourself, okay? Easier said than done. I know a lot of you, like me, like I have my own business. I work every single day. Do I wish sometimes I could take a break? Yes. But right now I can't. So I understand some of you work 3 jobs or 2 jobs. Some of you, like me, have a business where you work all the time. But I do take time. Like after this, I'll walk the dog. Maybe I'll go to a cafe and hang out and have a drink and just sit there for a little bit. I can't just work nonstop or I won't have anything to give. So I will take some time after this. I might take a nap, whatever. I watch a movie. Do something like that so that it's not nonstop, give, give, give. You need to take a little bit and take care of yourself. Crossing this card, we have the World. The reason why this came through first is so you can do this and so that you can lean into this. Because if you're exhausted and the World comes knocking, you're going to sleep in and you're going to miss it. So sleep now so that you can get up tomorrow. So we have the World here, and it's representing the ability for expansion, for exploration, for surprise, all of those things. In business, this is taking something to the next level, leveling up. Same thing in just general personal development. You may also be looking at where else can I go, figuratively and literally. So you might have just come to a completion stage. Students, some of you are graduating soon, and you're thinking, what am I going to do when I get into the real world? Retirees, you might have recently retired, and you're like, what's the next chapter? Everyone else, we don't have to wait for those things. You might just be thinking, okay, I'm getting close to a pivotal birthday. I want to make sure I'm doing what I want to do in this lifetime. Don't wait for retirement. Don't wait for graduation. Don't wait for, love to come in. Today is the day to do something that expands your experience on this planet and to take a step towards your next goal. Those things are milestones along the way, but they are not the end all be all. And sometimes, and I'm speaking to the Hallmark movies and Hollywood movies where it's like, if I can just find love, everything will work. If I can just do this, if I can just... No, it's one thing, and it sets us up for an anticlimactic event. So that's one. It's like a song. You have a chorus, you have a verse, you have a bridge, but the bridge isn't everything, the chorus isn't everything. You have to have structure, and you repeat things a few times, and it's the flow of everything that makes the song beautiful, not just one moment. So view your life as a song, know that you're going to have ups and downs, and have some fun in the middle. Have some fun in the bridge, in the chorus, and everything else, okay? So that's what I'm getting with the world. Some of you also might be looking to travel or relocate, and this card is associated with that also, okay? Here's your limit. Here's the first limit. So we have the Devil. I love that it's called the Trickster in this deck. It's less scary. Sometimes it's fun to work with the kids deck because it just helps us focus on the core message here. So that's what the Devil does. The Devil isn't truth. It's just coming through to show you something. It's a teacher energy in the tarot cards. And so it's coming through typically to say, hey, we don't have to do this again. I fooled you once. I'm not going to fool you again unless you want me to. The Devil is a happy participant anytime you want to connect with it. So the main thing here is to see through the illusions. Remember, I saw the little fox for some of you. I feel like all of us could benefit from that metaphor. There's always a little fox on the sideline trying to come in and, do something. So be mindful of the environment. Also just pay attention to your own thoughts. So one of the things that the Devil does is limit. And the Devil would love to come back and limit the world or star energy from happening. But you're not going to let that happen. We have Queen of Swords in the crowning position. She's going to cut through the nonsense and say, not today, El Diablo. So not ever, really. But don't limit yourself. Don't allow others in the past that have told you something that was overly critical to limit you today or tomorrow. And don't overextend yourself. So this can be a white lie. It does not have to be something that's like enormous. We can just tell ourselves, I know I shouldn't do this, but I'll do it. Or I probably can't get this done, but I'll just see if it's possible. I know I'm not going to go to this event, but I'll wait until the last minute to RSVP. I've been better about like the RSVP thing too. There was something where I knew I'm too busy. And I waited a day, and then I just got back to the person and I said, I have to just be honest. I've got too much going on. Let's just meet next month. But I did it 2 weeks in advance, like the day after I waited a day and they're like, you have an RSVP? And I said, yeah, I don't know. I'll put a maybe, but I got luck. And I waited, and the next day I said, I'm not going to even do maybe. I know I can't do it. I'm so sorry. I'm going to free up your schedule so that you can do something else. It's so much better to do that. Just be strong enough to know, I don't want to do it, I can't do it, or this isn't smart. And then the Devil goes away. Because sometimes we overextend ourselves by trying to be people pleasers. And I know a lot of people that watch are sensitive, tuned in, and don't want to hurt people's feelings, but you're actually being like the Hierophant, stronger. No, there's too much this month. How about 3 weeks from today? Just put it out into the future or something like that. But if there's someone in your life or something in your life that you have been burned by, why be burned again? This could be an addiction. This could be an ex. This could be an old place that used to work. Something that you're like, remember the worst of the worst. Don't look at it with the rose-colored glasses. Because that Devil energy probably hasn't changed. It's showing up as itself. So until a person has specifically, consistently shown they have made the necessary changes, you have to protect yourself, okay? small subsect that's for, but that's also a little piece that came through. Six of Wands. Okay, you're set up for success. This is in the recent past. It's already happening. So as we're watching this, when you look at a reading in the recent past is there, it's like, oh, I'm in the energy of success. Great. Some of you might have just done something great, and the inner saboteur is like, I can't do this again, or I'm not ready for the, blah, blah, blah. Let it go. We don't need all of that stuff. It's you making a complicated equation that doesn't need to be. Just lean into the fact that you're ready, you're here, it's happening. I put fireworks at the beginning in the countdown. This is a time for that kind of energy, for things to really go in a positive trajectory. You don't want to doubt yourself, okay? This is a great time to connect with like-minded people. There are power in numbers. It's not visible on this card, but I'll find the traditional one here. This is a really good time, whether it's like getting involved in the community. If you have something that you want to change, it can be part of like a protest or an organization. So you can make change happen by working together. Unions in companies make this happen too. Like, this isn't right, we'll fight for what's right. And that energy of community wins in the end. So that's another way to look at this, is together we're stronger. Six of Wands reminds you of that. You just have to keep things moving. That's the main thing here. Sometimes you're leading the charge. Sometimes you're connected to the larger group. Either way, today and this week ahead, you're kind of already set into a good trajectory, okay? This is very much in the past. Let's keep it in the past. Speak up, speak out, speak often, but don't speak too much. Succinct communication, brevity, clarity. That's Queen of Swords reversed at her best. Yes, no, or this is exactly what I need. Like, she's just going to get to the point. And it's really nice to know that when you need it. Queen of Swords at her not so best is too blunt. She may not read the room, or she may over-communicate. So we want to avoid those things. Simply checking in. Do you have a moment? Do you want to talk about this? What do you need? If you don't have the parameters, set them, or if you need to get clarity from the other party, do that. Those simple techniques will help you avoid putting your foot in your mouth. Generally speaking, say less. You can speak often, but like less. I know that sounds weird. Briefer communications. So short answers, short questions, clear communication. And the more frequent communication that way is going to lead, it's a good leadership quality. You can just check in. And like a good leader would say, do you have everything you need today? You know where to find me? Great. Are we still on for 2 o'clock? Good. And they move on. Short, quick, but also saying, you remember the deadline. You're good. Okay, good. That's how not to micromanage. So lean into that if it feels right. Don't be overcritical of yourself either, because sometimes she is. And we saw for some of you, like having the Five of Swords, you want to avoid that. Okay, fantastic energy in the near future. The Magician. I love that she's really focusing on using one of the tools. She's using the paintbrush here, but ostensibly the wand. So the Magician has everything at his or her disposal, but they can get confused sometimes because too many options get you back into this, I don't know where to start. Like Seven of Cups and Magician can sometimes get confused by options. So kind of like close your eyes and say, I really feel like I want to do this. I'm going to focus on this. This is where my heart is. This is where my head is. And then focus. And by focusing on it, you can get something done. Belief is so important with the Magician. High Priestess knows it, but the Magician needs to believe it. So there's a slight nuance there. So knowing just means that you're beyond belief, right? You're beyond faith. It's just there. It's part of you. The Magician is at the beginning of that process where they have to sort of just suspend the logic and just believe. High Priestess knows. So you're beginning the journey of discovering something, and you may still be, there's a little bit of friction over it's happening, but why is it happening? It's because it's happening. Okay. Let's just let it happen. Let it happen. That's the message from the universe, from the crows, from this card. Just let it happen. and believe that you are part of that magical connection to source. Highly creative card. If you have any creative activity that you want to do this week, do it. But that's the big takeaway. You don't need to understand why something wonderful is happening. You don't need to understand why you don't want to do something. When you don't do that, I'm trying to avoid double negatives. When you allow that truth to come forth, then you step into the high priestess. Then the magic really starts to happen, because you're just in a you're in a flow. It's synchronicity and flow. So just let it be. One of the biggest potential blocks this week is a lack of self-care. That's why the center card came forth. If you overdo it, burnout. If you let someone get under your skin, like the devil or trickster, argument, and then all of these things deplete your energy. And again, it's kind of like hitting the snooze button. It's going to take longer for the world and for the star energy to come forth. So don't overdo it. If you've already gotten to a point of exhaustion or you've gotten into an argument, the positive side of the Ten of Swords is it's a full stop. Very rarely do you ever want to go back to that. The bridge is often burnt, but there may be another path. There may be something better. Sometimes we have to go through that ouch moment that is the Ten of Swords. I'm going to pull the traditional one while we look at, or while we're talking about this. One positive message with Ten of Swords is there's always a reset with it. So as we look at this card, you can see the clouds are clearing. A new day is before this person. The pain is already, it's kind of like this is as bad as that gets. You have nowhere to go but up. But let's not go there if we don't have to. I can still find a silver lining, literally, or a golden sort of lining on this card, but it's better to not need to go into the Ten of Swords. Don't take the bait in an argument. She is kind of like letting it go. She's letting everything sort of be. So that's the best way to kind of approach this. In the Lightseers deck, there's a woman that just walks away, and I think that's probably one of the strongest ones too. So see it before it happens, move beyond it. But if you are already at a point where you're feeling a little bit tired or burnt out or emotionally bruised, take care of yourself. Give yourself the time that you need to recover. Don't beat yourself up. Don't judge yourself too harshly. The devil wants you to. Don't. Just say, well, that was a lesson, wasn't it? Let's not repeat it. The other sort of potential block here in the environment is rushing. Rushing to get something done, and it's not ready. So the Hanged Man, or the Upside Down here, comes through to help us see something from a new perspective. It almost looks like you could be having fun with it if it's just upright. So if it reminds me of when you're a kid and you're hanging from like the monkey bars and getting a little dizzy and having fun and just looking at things from another point of view. But what you have to do after you go through that moment is you can't walk because the blood rushed to your head. So you have to just sit for a second and wait for and the world may be spinning a little bit. You have to let your lenses kind of like refocus, your eustachian tubes get cleared, your body feels stable. That's the Hanged Man. Sometimes when you fall into love, it reminds me of a line from Practical Magic where Nicole Kidman is talking to one of her nieces. She's like, have you ever just spun around really fast and everything? She said, like, that's love sometimes. So when you step into something new, your head can start to spin. This is too much change. This is too much. Be present. And don't take another step until the room stops spinning, figuratively speaking. Okay? Slow down. And if you need to get a different or outside perspective, get an outside perspective. Okay? All right. The star, hopes, fears, and opportunities. We like this. The whole purpose of the week ahead is to help you get into a star moment. Stepping into the spotlight, aligning with your true path. Also giving yourself a chance to find the necessary balance. I have to be careful because I can only use decks that don't have nudity, so we'll use this one because I know the star sometimes has it. So in a traditional star card, usually she has two chalices. Let me see if this one has it. But you could be finding the perfect balance this week between, again, She has at least, yeah, she has the 2 in this one. Okay. So here we go. The star card is finding balance and being in the flow, completely in the flow. But when the card is reversed, the balance isn't right. You're either muting your light or you're giving too much, sometimes like a performer does, and then they lose their voice. So we want to give just enough. You want to be authentic to your voice and your vision. Uniqueness is celebrated, and I love that we have the unicorn here. Be yourself, be unique. Don't over or under deliver. And I think that's the biggest takeaway. That will help you find this sort of world energy here. I like Lady Gaga as a performer, so I watched both of her Coachella performances on YouTube. And it was great to see how, as someone who does live stuff, and there's problems all the time when you do live, she just worked through a mic issue and just then gave a stellar show. So don't let one sort of hiccup, like the devil or something else with the Ten of Swords, keep you from delivering an amazing week. So it's just literally in the whole show, it was 30 seconds. But then she went on. You have to get out of your head. I've done enough of these. even the members one, I hit the wrong button. Everything crashed this week. And I was like, well, we'll just start a new live stream. Thankfully, it was just for the members. But sometimes stuff like that happens. I've done it enough that I don't let it bother me anymore. I just like, okay, that was that. And you just move on. And in life, it's not always a mic moment or live stream moment. It's like you put your foot in your mouth or you trip and you fall. But you dust yourself off and you're like, I still have 23 of the 24 hours in front of me. I can't let this one thing ruin all of the momentum. So I really feel like if you just can get past a misstep, you can use it, you can leverage it as a chance to kind of, if you can laugh at yourself a little bit and just move forward, it will be a very good thing to do. Okay? All right. It's going to be busy this week, folks. 8 of Wands. There's a lot going on. There are some decks that actually show that there are multiple people usually throwing those wands into motion. So this one is kind of showing that they're all coming together, which I do like. So find a way to slow down and make sure that you see the bigger picture. Traditionally, this is actually, I like it better than the traditional one, but I'll show it. It's a fast-moving card. I would say maybe second to the Knight of Swords, rather. So Knight of Swords, he's charging forward. This one, it's like rocket ships going through the air. Don't lose track of yourself. Don't get caught up in everyone else's stress or maybe overenthusiasm. You want to find a way to just keep the momentum and sort of like be steady, be fluid, and that's going to help you out. All right, let's take a look at the expanded forecast where we go into health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to begin with the energy of health first, which is your mind, body, and spirit. I naturally touched the Ten of Swords because it's connected to that, but we'll talk about this first. I lovingly accept myself. So our card for today was none other than not the card of today. It was the card of today. in the 7-day spread was the 3 of Swords in reverse. So letting go of beating yourself up for a mistake, making a decision that you don't now think was smart, being hurt by someone else, being disappointed, whatever it is, just love yourself and say, okay, that wasn't the greatest, but tomorrow's a new day. This moment is different. Every step past this moment is different. So who did I talk to this? I think it was Aquarius. It's in the title, but it's like living in the now and the next is super important. So what can I do now? What can I do next? What did I learn from that? How can I not repeat it? Now and next. And that's something I have to remind myself of too. All right, now what? And that helps you completely transmute everything else. So a proactive, present approach, learn from the past, don't live in the past, don't beat yourself up because of the past. You are only human, after all. To that end, you need a break, I think, this week with the Ten of Swords. You may have some pain, chronic pain or fatigue. It could just be, emotional, but either way, whatever you need to do to let it go is going to be important. This person's a little stubborn as I look at it, like she's pulling at those, she's kind of struggling a little bit with that. So one thing that I've learned over time is Like if there's someone in my life that presents way too much grief, there just comes a point where it isn't worth it. It's like, gosh, you are driving me up a wall and I don't need this much drama and trauma. So, really pay attention to that and cut your losses sometimes when it comes to certain people in your life. You may need to change the environment up a little bit. So getting outside, taking a trip or a vacation if you have the resources, time, or energy to do so. Otherwise, just a walk. Like I said, a walk with, if you have a little furry friend like I do, go outside and spend some time with them. That's right, Apollo. We'll be doing that later. All right. Let's see what else is coming through here. I mentioned just general self-care this week. Super important. Whatever that means for you, whatever you've been neglecting, please take care of that. Throat chakra activation. You might be having issues with allergies or your sore throat or something like that, but you could also just need to speak up and ask a question, particularly when it comes to a doctor or healthcare professional. Avoid things from the past that created havoc, whether it's an addictive experience or a person that limits you or an environment that limits you. That's why we really need to move up, move on, move out. That's really what the world is saying with respect to that. There could be some unhealthy ties with a family member that tends to kind of step in and micromanage. You've got what it takes to make the change happen. Slow down. I mentioned dizziness. Definitely pay attention to that if you're going through it. This also has to do with the ankle and the foot because when Odin willingly hanged himself upside down, it was by the foot. It's a figurative sort of thing. That's why you see someone hanging by their foot. But there could be weakness in the foot, ankle, or related muscles, so be mindful of that. Otherwise, generally manageable. So let's move on to the next category and move to wealth. So you got two cards in wealth. We have I'll just pull them up so you can see them really quickly, and then I have to sort of look at it upright so I can read it. Stellar Gateway Activation, Infinite Potential Manifestation Vortex. Way too many words. All I need on this one is activation, potential, and manifestation. Those are the power words on this. So you could be holding yourself back from thinking about your infinite potential. You could be avoiding something that's in front of you, a synchronicity, because you think, I can't do it. I can't manifest. Yes, you can. You got the magician. And the hardest step sometimes is the first or the last. Don't be afraid to take that step as needed. The Temple of Truth. Throat chakra, look at that as I had to take a drink. Authenticity, self-expression. Queen of Swords, nice synchronicity. Everything's connected. The crows don't lie whenever I connect to them as a totem. All right, so you have to speak up. Something in your life may not feel right. When I was a kid, I have very wide feet. Like when I buy shoes, I have to get quad E so that they fit. So I can never get the cool colors. When people, I can't go to a store and just buy them. I usually have to go to the website and buy extra wide or something. So, but as a kid, I learned to speak up because I remember a pair of shoes. I'm like, it hurts and it's not. And I remember the salesperson trying to talk me into something, and my dad had the same wide feet. It's like, no, we'll find another store. You can't let someone sell you into a situation that doesn't fit. I'm using the metaphor of shoes. But if they're too narrow or if they're too short, your foot's going to hurt and you're going to end up with problems. So if you're in a situation where you're too limited, a work situation or a career situation, you have to say, ouch, this hurts. This doesn't feel right, right? And I think that's important. So to kind of improve the flow today, I'm not going to pull multiple cards. I'm just going to look at them and see if there's anything that we need to do. I'm practicing some things because I have to reformat some of the monthlies so that they flow faster. So let me go back to a way I used to do it. I'm going to look at it first just for those that are working. I think, again, the most important thing if you're working is to speak up and to lean into the things that you can affect the most. So for those that presently have a job, it's just important to go into that energy of communication, do what you need to do, and don't let other people put their problems on you. Don't limit your potential. Now, you may be in a place where you're having a difficult time in breaking through the sort of, glass ceiling, don't let that get to you, okay? If you are an entrepreneur and own your own company, you have great energy this week with these two cards. The World and the Star card are encouraging you basically just to go bigger, to differentiate yourself and go counter to what everyone else is doing. That's important. You may be overextended, so there may be things that you need to cut, that you need to remove. There may be something also from a PR perspective that you just need to come clean with. The Trickster and the Ten of Swords are showing that if you don't do it, someone else is. So it's better to control the narrative and to do some damage control if that's the case. There may also be an employee, a vendor, or a client that isn't worth the time and energy, right? Let's see what else. There's just a lot going on this week, so I think it's important the self-care piece is key, and delegate. The Empress is trying to do too much. So delegate. If you are a one-person show, then you're going to have to make some adjustments like we talked about with like the Six of Pentacles. You can't do everything. So avoid overextension, do whatever damage control you need to, take care of yourself, don't overextend. And by doing that, you can lean into Six of Wands, World, Magician, and Star energy. Accountability is also really important. If there's a problem, admit to it, fix it, then move forward. Moving onward to those that are looking for work. You may be licking your wounds a little bit from the past. There could have been something where it happened more quickly than you thought, and you're angry about that. What I said about the now and the next is really important. Specifically, I would never go back to that place. Don't apply again. There may even be like a legal thing that's going on there, but whatever it is, just wash your hands clean of that. Leaning into creative ventures, whether it's going to school or education or whatever, I think that's really important as well. In the next environment that you go to, you really want to pay attention to morale because, again, I'm feeling there's still some stuff that needs to be resolved from the previous job or from the fact that it's difficult right now in finding work. We're going to let that go. And we're going to focus more on, I feel like this has been coming through weekly almost for those that are seeking work, trying something different. The world is just a different approach. We could literally look at geographic locations and you could spin the globe and say, well, what if I worked here? But you could also figuratively go bigger and say, well, what if I go into this industry or what if I try this? There could be resistance to that. That's up to you. But that's what I'm kind of picking up on is there a different way to look at this? So I'm either going to change where I'm working, how I'm working, or what I'm working on. Something has to shift, and then that can open up opportunities for you. It may be a little bit beyond a week before you see the seeds of intention start to come through. It could be more like 8 days before something happens. I do see something amazing here on the horizon, but right now I'm not seeing a lot of progress with this one, so the best way to, by the law of detachment, to get that to happen is just to focus on another avenue. Keep looking until you find somewhere where the energy is open up. That's what I see. For students, burnout, avoid it, please. Take care of yourself. There could be someone too demanding in your life, parent in particular. I could be beating you up for not getting the right grades. A teacher that is too demanding in a course and it's driving me crazy. Because we're so close to the end of the semester, I think picking and choosing battles, not letting that one energy get under your skin too much, and focusing on just how successful you are and you will be it's going to be really important. Less is more. Pick and choose those battles. Retirees, travel, plugging into creative ventures, and again, maybe even social activities that make you feel I'm part of something bigger, I'm part of something better. Stay busy. As I'm talking about this, it feels like someone's pushing a needle in my crown chakra, which isn't super pleasant, but that's a spiritual awakening. And so some of you might be having the crown chakra awaken. So please meditate and connect to that and know that art is a fantastic way to do it. Everybody, though, no matter what category you're in, you can get more into the flow of abundance this week. I am ready, I am worthy, I'm capable. Show me, universe, where it's at. Show me where to show up. Open yourself up to the signs. Let's move on to love and relationships. I mean, I think this card is super appropriate for today. Jesus comes through. But let's just look at him as an ascended master, just like Buddha, just like any other, like Ganesha or whatever. We're looking at relationships and acts of service come through. When you serve, the universe serves you. How can I be there for you? How can I make your day better? As a partner, that's a great energy to have. We're in this together. And the only person that you're really protecting and connecting with is one another in that relationship. Yes, you're taking care of yourself, but this is more so like when people come in and they want you to be with someone else, or they don't agree with your choices or whatever. You're like, I'm fine. I'm in the flow. My heart is open. I'm connected. So do what serves you best too when it comes to relationships. On the flip side, it may be difficult to get the forgiveness that you need from your partner. On the flip side, they may expect you to do things for them. Love is unconditional, and like doing something because you want to do it is more powerful than doing it because someone demands it. So that's what I'm looking at. It's almost like a letting go a little bit and just letting the heart be free, letting things flow in that direction. It shouldn't be too much work if this card comes up. All right, briefly looking at those in a relationship. There are some challenges. It may be external. There's so many positive cards. This could be something out of your control. So maybe there's a health issue. Maybe there's a family member, particularly a maternal energy that comes through and is putting some pressure on the situation. There could be work stress, environmental stress, because they're all here. What we don't want to do is have it bleed into the relationship so that it becomes an argument, so that we're pointing a finger of blame. So finding a way to compartmentalize those things from the relationship and getting help if you need help, like a counselor or something of that nature. Now, in a not so perfect partnership, there could be a tendency that comes back in, like an addiction. There could be an ex that comes into the picture. There could be a secret that's been kept. The important thing here is to communicate and to be open and to hold some space for that person and not to argue. All of the upper cards here represent resolution in that situation. So kindness, forgiveness, space, and love. That's the way to heal it. If you're not getting what you're giving, that's a different case altogether. And that's why the World card comes in. You can get a bird's eye view, look at it, say, am I in or am I out? If you're in, it can be healed. If you're out, it's okay. You know why you're doing what you're doing. It'll be okay either way. It's a choice. You need to make that choice for yourself. But what I see here is honesty and integrity and avoiding arguments. Those are the challenges in existing relationships. Okay? All right. So moving onward. For those of you that are looking for love, can you find it? Absolutely, with the star. You'll feel it. The Magician is something where it's just like, we have the connection. Could be an air sign coming in. Aquarius is at the top of my head, but it could be Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. The one thing that you want to look at right now is with the Empress at the center. Again, self-care. Looking at the relationship with your parents, not just your mom, but like with your parents in general. Is there any healing that needs to be done there? When you put that energy in a positive sort of trajectory, I'll just hold up to the main camera, then everything is going to go better and you won't have a partner who comes in as a teacher, basically. I think, however, some of you may need a little bit more time. These two in particular can be too quickly after a previous relationship, like too much on a rebound, or you might attract a partner that is attached to someone else. What do I mean? It doesn't necessarily even have to mean that they're divorced. They're still thinking about someone. They may not be able to give you the level of commitment in time and energy that you need. There may just be some stuff you're going through and you're not at your best just yet. So give yourself time to let the dust settle. But when you do, I see a very favorable connection here. Again, star energy in particular, that's why I'm getting Aquarius, because we have air and then we have this. But it could be any air sign, particularly a strong Aquarius vibe coming forth. And you'll just know it. The Magician is your heart skips a beat. You get butterflies. You're like, it just feels right. So you'll know when you know. We are getting parental energy, so there's some karma coming through, which is interesting because we have mother and father energy coming forth. So I know it sounds weird, and this is why we forget it completely because it would be too weird, but we play different roles in different lifetimes. So your partner in this lifetime could have been your parent, your boss, your child, your friend. We just change roles. And so sometimes we stay in those old roles. And so if it's like an older sibling or parent or whatever, sometimes it's still this feeling of you get to boss me or I get to boss you. So seeing each other on the level is keen and important. So if you get past the weirdness of it, it's just about roles. We're just playing different roles and energies. So sometimes you nurture, sometimes you receive, sometimes you teach, sometimes your peers. I'm getting more of a peer energy on the level. That way there's more equity in the relationship. Single and happy, good for you. Healing again being the central theme. But once you get past that, there's a lot of potential this month when it comes to successfully launching a business, successfully launching a new chapter, travel, personal development. There's a lot of things in motion. Just don't overdo it. That's the main thing that I get. And forgive yourself. Let's go to destiny finally. Archangel Uriel, shine your light. Thank you, Uriel, for helping me share my light with the world. Well, we got it this month in the energy of the star. Hopes, fears, and opportunities. So the star shines. What does the star do but shine? That's a line from Stardust, the movie and the book. So lean into and we're all constituted from stardust, so we all have the potential in our ancestral energy to shine brightly. At some point, you were part of one of the stars in the sky. Kind of magical way of thinking about that. That also is a reminder that none of us are less or more worthy of something than someone else. We're all star stuff. So it's just a matter of rising to the occasion and shining rather than kind of like absorbing the light, because that's what we have right now. Is there's a lot of shadow energy on the planet. We need more light to balance it out. And we're in an interesting dimension where there is a combination. If it was just all light, you couldn't even see any. I mean, we would have to develop a different way of seeing, but it would just be, you wouldn't be able to make out anything. Just be constant state of radiance. So the shadow energy helps give texture and definition to things, and it helps you see things for all of their sort of parts. So this is about encompassing all of that, but kind of leaning a little bit more into shining. Shine a light on whatever it is that you don't want to see. You'll understand it better. Okay, I'm called to do one more here, and then we'll go into meditation and then final card. So sometimes, not always, I do a reader's choice, but because I truncated it a bit, I'm like, oh, we have some time. So let's do one more card, which is reader's choice. For this one, I want to take a look at how you can enter into that energy of shining, since there's so much challenge in the world at the present time. Change. So we have the Death card, which is change, transformation, and sometimes letting go. And I did a members only reading this week where we were looking at like what's going on and how does this move, like, and we got the Tower card. So the same sort of energy happens with the Tower and the Death card, which is it's already happening. So the change is already happening. It's just about accepting it and deciding, am I waiting to see how it all ends up, whatever that may be, or am I an agent of change? Am I going to surf the sort of frequency of change and land on my feet? It's more powerful to participate and collaborate and embrace the energy of change. You might just be putting something to rest. I'm done. I'm done with that. It's very freeing to just let it go. And when you know, if you've been through something like that, you're like, I am so done, D-O-N-E, with that. So death is another way to kind of express that. It's now no longer taking up space. in my mind, in my life, etc. So release, let it go. That's what we're going to focus on in the meditation, because that's what came through. So we're going to briefly meditate. And then after this, I will look at one final question. So if there's something else where you're like, the crows didn't bring it forth, I have another question, just hold it for a second. And then after we meditate, I'll take a look at it. All right, close your eyes. Let's let go of any tension that you might be holding on to in your shoulders. You can gently move each one up and back a few times until you feel like all of the knots, all of the tension is gone. You can even give yourself a gentle massage. And then just rest your hands in your lap. Close your eyes and imagine that you are, we're in a cocoon. That's what I see. Just a cocoon of light, a cocoon of energy. It feels like a warm blanket around you. It is safe now. That's basically what Spirit is showing you. It's safe to let things go. It's safe to step into something new. It's safe to be yourself in a time where sometimes there's a lot of judgment being cast on different people for different reasons. You are perfectly divinely created exactly as you are. You do not need to change. You just need to lean into the change that's already there, the uniqueness that is you. Imagine that you can feel these beautiful butterfly wings wrapped around your body, and the cocoon that was holding you, I guess it would be a moth if it's a cocoon, but the cocoon that was holding you now is absorbed into your auric field, and what replaces it are these beautiful wings. So you can be a butterfly or a moth because it's our own meditation. Just imagine that you see these resplendent wings that reach out as far as your eyes can see, and that whatever it is that you need to move into, it's going to be easier sailing in the week ahead. Set that intention. Keep setting the intention until it sticks. It may take a few days or a few weeks for it to stick, but eventually when you start to say, it's getting easier, not it's going to get easier, it's getting easier. I feel myself in the flow. Then it starts to happen, okay? Open your wings, take a deep breath, open your eyes as well. On the exhale, let it all go. Focus on your final question. Just hold it in your mind for a second. Let's give the cards a shuffle, and we'll see what Spirit has to say with your final question. Okay. So we have an Ace of Cups, generally a very good card, but it is reversed. So whenever we have cups reversed, it's about letting something go, which was nicely aligned with the reader's choice here. And so in this moment in time, there still is something that you might be holding on to. It feels like there's something where, like what is in my head is a little kid saying, it's not fair. Like when their brother or sister does something and then blames them. It's not fair, I didn't do it. And then the parent punishes both of them. There probably was something that wasn't fair. I get it. It's not fair. We can't change that, but maybe we're not going to hang out with someone that punishes us unnecessarily. We're not going to let that happen again. We're going to find a way to connect with things where we feel more supported. You could just be carrying a lot of grief, a lot of energy. You're going to let that go. The hummingbird on this is auspicious. The hummingbird needs to, though, nurture itself. That's why it's coming through. So for some of you, drink in the moment a little bit more. Take care of yourself a little bit more. The self-care energy is coming through even with this. When you do that, then you get into the receptive energy that we see here. And things start to move much quicker when that happens. So even a hummingbird sleeps at night, and it actually gets into such a deep slumber that its heart almost stops. It's called torpor, I think. So you might need to slow things down before you can speed them up again. Take care of yourself. We want to avoid the Ten of Swords. As a yes or no, it's more nuanced. Sometimes you don't get a yes or no. It's a not yet. So for this one, it's not yet because you need to slow down, because you need to heal yourself a little bit, and because there may not be enough. So if you're looking at an opportunity, it may not give you enough sustenance because we're looking at the hummingbird, drink it in. So it's a nuanced not yet. Take some time, sit with the decision for a little bit, and then move forward. And for everyone else, there could be something wonderful on the horizon, but you have to kind of like get yourself ready for it, okay? It was a super powerful reading today. I never know what to expect coming into it, but everything just flowed beautifully. Knock on wood, no technical problems. And always a pleasure to be here. I always feel better after these readings. I hope you do too. I'll be starting the next round of readings. Like I said, I'm changing the format for them. I'll be experimenting. So, feel free to give feedback, but we'll see. This is a test case. I want to get them done faster. And I have so many projects and things coming out. I want these monthlies to be more digestible. So just trust that I know how to organize them, and we'll play around. And one of the things that I do on this channel anyway is experiment. So we'll change things. We can always change them back. There's no pressure. There's no judgment. Don't panic. No Chicken Little stuff. I'm just saying that because sometimes people will be like, well, I missed this. I still get people saying I miss sun, rising, and moon. I hear that, but realize that extended it even further. Like, we can't have these to be an hour and a half or something. So I'm trying to keep them so that I can do them and you can consume them. So I'll just punch more into I'm going to try to get Queen of Swords reversed energy. More, but less time. Distilling it. Kind of like I've started to do with the dailies. I've gotten to a point after several years where I can punch a lot in 2 minutes, right? We can do the same in these monthlies. I just have to figure out the method. All right, so just giving you a heads up. If you enjoyed this, please do me a favor, especially if you're brand new, hit the subscribe button. It is free. There are no obligations with it. It just gives you reminders. Sometimes YouTube doesn't give a reminder, so you can follow me on social media. It's my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, spelled exactly like this. I'm also on new platforms like Blue Sky, which it's the same handle as my website, which is nicholasashbaugh.com. And if you want to give back, now's a great time to do it. Super stickers, super chat, memberships. I'll be doing more with memberships in the months ahead. Couldn't do this without you guys, so that's why I want to lean into memberships a little bit more. So let me know, and I'll be doing some posts on other types of videos that we can do for it. Usually it's a much smaller audience. It's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying those members-only videos, so thanks, guys. Like I said, again, if you ever need more information about me, go here. And remember, I don't offer private readings at present, and I don't use direct messages. So the best way to show up is here on the live readings or on the members only. Okay. I want to say thanks. Thanks to everybody for showing up, for making this an amazing reading today. And I'd like to give some love and support to the people that showed up here in chat. So give me a second here. Let's start off with the fan funding tab here and see what's going on here. All right, so celebrating all of the anniversaries first, because it's easy for me to see it. So we have Michelle celebrating 22 months of membership. I appreciate you too, and I'm glad that everything resonated. Mira, 7 months. You're amazing. Thank you so much, and welcome back after these 7 months. And thanks for your positive energy that you sent to the world. We have a bunch of people that gifted memberships today. Andrea and Colette both gave 5 memberships. Thanks, guys. Lucy, you also sent a membership to somebody. Thank you very much, as well as giving back. I gave 5, so welcome to the people that were gifted that. JJ, you sent a membership to somebody. I am Laura. You gave 10. 10? Oh my gosh. That was super generous and a really nice way to kick off the weekend. Thank you. Bernadette giving 5. You're amazing as well. Thank you very much. And let's see. Lorna, you sent 5. Let's see. Who else? And then we have some new members too. So let me jump into a new tab. I just wanted to give some acknowledgement to that first. So we'll go into memberships and see. I don't even know if I can name off all of these today since we had a lot. And it tends to refresh, but let's see if the universe works with me. Deborah, Niche, Bernadette, Janelle, Sydney. How did I get here? I don't know. Best Version, Advic, Grace. I'm a work of art. My Tree Face. Let's see. And again, it only lets me look at the first few. It's so frustrating. So I know there's so many more here. Let me try in a different tab and see if I can do it. But while I'm doing that, I might jump over to the stickers, and then I'll try to do the rest of the memberships after that. Okay, so give me a second here. Working with the limitations of YouTube. Super stickers and super chat, and then I'll try to do the rest of the members. Okay, super stickers, Alice, Monica, Jeannie, Vanessa, Bernadette. Bernadette, that's an amazing contribution. Thank you so much. I gave you a heart in real time when I saw that. That really makes a difference. Thank you. But everybody, no matter what, I appreciate it. Angie, Color Me Happy, Lucy, Angel, I think that's everything for today. So let me see if I can get another tab for members. I may not be able to go past the 10 just because of YouTube's limitations. I'll work on that. And by the way, I'll see if I can somehow get Patreon thanks in here. It's just tough to do it all at once. Just know you're making a difference. Even if I don't say everybody's name in real time, I see it and I wouldn't be here without you. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not an unfortunate. We had so many new members today. It limited it. I can't see it. So welcome to the 20 to 30 new people that are joined today. I really appreciate your presence as well. I think we got a couple of new people at the end here with Alice and Monica. Thank you guys. So yeah, there's a limit on YouTube. I can't actually do it without taking screenshots. So I'll try to give them some feedback that's annoying as a creator. But I really appreciate and welcome all of you. We'll be doing some more fun stuff. I also updated the final tiers to represent those of you that have been with me. There's some people that have been almost 60 months a member, which is amazing. So some new little emojis for people that have reached those milestones. All right, folks, good to see you. Have a great week ahead. Take care of yourselves. And like I said, I am absolutely working on getting the next round done faster, and I'm trying to be more efficient on those. So we'll get there. And then we'll just sort it out each month as I play around with the format. It's been a minute since I've adjusted formats, so that's part of growth, right? Have a great weekend. Let me see. I'll try to bring Apollo. He's in the other room, so let's get him and then we'll wrap up. But again, if you like this, like and subscribe. All right. Sending you guys lots of love today. Have an amazing week ahead, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.